What is that?
Making unexpected sounds was kind of the thing.
The one and only TheOdd1sOut just posted a video. Now y'all know I love animation, so we're gonna see what that's looking like. But if y'all enjoy the video, hit that like button and that sub button, and let's see what TheOdd1sOut is talking about. Alright, this is the TheOdd1sOut, the GOAT who lied to everyone. Now when they said the GOAT, they probably referring to me, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get to it.
Quick, what do we know about goats?
I'm
they
one.
stand up and fall over when they're scared? Good, what else?
They do that too.
Oh, I know. Their kids have the same name as our kids.
Billy?
Which is kids. Yeah, that does open the door for some pretty hilarious puns.
Wait.
Anything else?
You gotta be kidding me.
You in the back? You don't want to stare into their eyes for too long. Well, class, I'll admit.
What do you know about goats that we don't?
But you're all forgetting the most iconic goat fact of all.
Aaron's one.
You know,
this man cheeks
their
never.
goats scream.
The fact that he has cheeks never.
Anyone who's anyone who knows anything about goats know that these rectangle-eyed demons make weird human-sounding screams. And we all find
Nah, I don't know a lot of humans that sound like that, I'll tell you that.
these little freaks of nature so funny that screaming goats get referenced in all sorts of media.
They do.
Like commercials.
That is a fact.
And movies.
Oh, a scary movie, low-key.
And are still getting referenced as recently as 2024.
Oh, God.
So why then did Peter Griffin call this a sheep?
Sorry, guys. Somebody emailed me a video of a sheep screaming.
Now that I think about it, Conan O'Brien called this a sheep too.
There's a viral video going around.
It do like a
sheep. This is real.
And if this really is a goat, why is the original video called The Screaming
Sheep?
And I've never, ever in my life seen a sheep or met a sheep that sounds like this.
Take a good look because
have you been lied to your whole time?
Your dreams.
Are they the same thing? What's going on here?
They were screaming.
That was the worst Super Bowl call in the history of the Super Bowl.
Hold on, y'all. What's happening here?
People are saying it's fake and that it's dubbed over.
That's I don't know what that is.
Real.
Chapter 1.
They are the same in the
Why
same
did we
vein
all
to me.
think this was a goat? This has to be like one of them Mandela effects, right? You're telling me this unedited 6-second video that shaped an entire generation's perception of what the common barn animal goats scream like wasn't even a goat? Someone's been pulling the wool over all of our eyes.
Do they both do it?
Maybe the original poster is deceptive and untrustworthy, and this really is a goat. Hey, I'm not gonna stand for you.
I don't think sheep got them Naruto eyes. You know, them little like. I don't think sheep got those. That gotta be a goat. I don't know.
Questioning the integrity of the original poster. They would never lie to us. Okay, let's see. All the other videos on their channel are of sheep.
Screaming sheep.
In fact, it's only sheep. We can't even find one stinking goat on this whole stinking farm.
Yeah,
if we get real investigating and use an internet archive, we can clearly see that the video was always called The Screaming Sheep. But I'm positive it's screaming goats we love so much, because if you type screaming goats into Amazon, you get all of the screaming goat merch, and if you type screaming sheep, you get all of the screaming goat merch.
Do sheep have horns?
Just because I have another example, in the Shaun the Sheep movie, they had a whole farm of sheep that any one of could have screamed, but it's the one and only goat character that goes. Granted, the sheep in the original video was just recently sheared, so I understand that it doesn't immediately give this is a sheep vibes. But were Peter Griffin and Conan O'Brien really the only ones who read the title while the rest of us collectively thought, I think I know what a goat sounds like, and that is definitely a goat. How did we get from a 6-second video of a screaming sheep to all these goats? Chapter 2. The beginning.
It's the eyes,
According to this Google Trends graph, from 2005 to 2008, no one gave a shit about screaming goats. And that makes sense. No one knew they could do that. But then, just at the start of the 2008 housing market crash, we see a little bump. I believe this is because videos of animals making unexpected sounds was kind of the thing back then. Videos like Man Goat and Man Argues with Spitting Goat made the rounds from 2008 to 2011, but their success kind of stayed on the internet, you know? Like, they were funny videos, but nothing I'd make a commercial about. 2012 rolled around, and people were done with screaming goats. But one user still had hope that, in time, people would once again care about
Screaming Goat.
Screaming
boy
animals.
AJ2891.
On the 8th of April, 2012, while everyone was enjoying a nice Easter Sunday on the Screaming Sheep
Is that a
farms,
dragon?
the YouTube user AJQ2891 captured the exact moment that their recently sheared Oxford sheep Ophelia let out a humorous and completely genuine scream. Then, for the rest of the day, they painted eggs or something, I don't know. But then, on the very next day, AJ posted the video for the entire world to witness Ophelia's monumental sheep scream. And almost overnight, the video would be seen by
everybody.
No one. And it would stay that way for the next 5 months.
Dang.
Until one day, when the video would fall upon the eyes of a Redditor. And baby, I'm low on karma. Ophelia's video got posted on Reddit. And then reposted on Reddit. And then seemingly overnight, Ophelia the Screaming Sheep went viral. Ophelia was so beloved that she found herself off the internet too, on places like Conan and this British show RudeTube that I couldn't find clips for because I'm not British. With Screaming Sheep being the next viral sensation, AJQ quickly ran out to the farm, recorded another hilarious scream of Ophelia, and managed to record some of their screaming lambs. Guess that's why it's called the Screaming Sheep Farms.
It's a lamb?
Every animal here has a weird, unnatural scream. Honestly, it's a nightmare to live here. Also, we know it's Ophelia who stars in the Screaming Sheep too, because we can see she's wearing the same ear tags in both videos. That, and she screams like identically in both videos.
Why he keep slobbering?
It's the same sheep, so of course it's going to sound the same. You know how consistent a sheep's screams are these days. We're not really going to be looking a whole lot at these two videos, but they're going to be important later on. So
look at the little goatee
in the back of your mind. Things were looking great.
Goatee? That's why it's called a goatee, because the Billy Goats be having these. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
She was beloved by millions of people who all found joy in listening to the soothing sounds of her completely genuine sheep scream. Chapter 3.
Okay.
Seriously, why do we all think this was a goat? I wasn't able to find the original Reddit post that exploded Ophelia into stardom. But we do know a Reddit post did exist because it was mentioned in the Screaming Sheep NFT description. Okay. Apparently, a lot of old viral videos are now
I remember that cat on the keyboard.
Tokens. I don't really want to get into that right now. If we instead just shift our focus to the NFT's description, we find a lot of useful information. Like, this is the only place I've found where we learn Ophelia's real name. I'm hoping it's accurate.
I'm going to do that deep dive.
This might just be how I read things, but when I read, "This is Ophelia. I filmed the Screaming Sheep Easter morning." I was under the impression Ophelia was the name of the person recording, AJQ. Luckily, we have the Screaming Sheep 2's NFT description to clear things up. See, I told you those videos are going to be important later on. Ophelia, the sheep featured in the original, is also the star of this video. Oh, I get it now. This is Ophelia. Like you're pointing at her.
Yeah.
This is Ophelia.
Yeah.
Hi, Ophelia. Anyways, getting back to that uncredited Reddit post, I was able to find this Reddit post from September 7th, 2012, but I have reasons to believe it still wasn't the Reddit post. However, this post does give us some valuable insight into what a viral Ophelia Reddit post may have looked like. Already, there were a surprising amount of people who were commenting things like, "Oh, take my upvote, kind stranger. Hey, you know what this video reminds me of? A different Screaming Goat video!" Since there had already been a precedent of goats being the common barn animal that made weird, unnatural screams, and because Ophelia had the most goat-looking haircut that day, that if someone told you, "This is a goat," you would believe them unquestionably, because why would someone lie about that? Turns out, people lied about it. Ophelia's video was featured in multiple and extremely popular goat screaming like people compilations. And I can't really blame the people who made these compilations because they couldn't make a whole separate sheep scream like people compilation. I've only found one other video of a sheep screaming that wasn't on AJQ's channel, and that's not enough to make a whole compilation. Misinformation about Ophelia's species was rampant. No one had an NFT description to fact check because honestly, the concept of that is kind of insane. They just had to trust reputable news sources like Anderson Cooper to get his facts right. And even he couldn't do that.
Now, I've seen a lot of creepy goats on YouTube, like this one.
That's a sheep.
Chapter 4.
Look for the horns. Don't they all got
knew you
horns?
were
Am I
trouble.
tripping?
In February 2013, the
Okay.
YouTube user Goosick had the brilliant idea of
Oh,
editing
man, what you do?
Ophelia's scream over a popular Taylor Swift song.
Why do I
Don't
feel like
you
I
wish
remember that,
you
bro?
thought of something like that, AJQ? Replacing the audio of something with a goofier and unexpected sound? People are so creative. I
Bruh.
wish I could show you the
I feel like I remember that
specific
for some
edit
reason.
that I'm talking about, but I know Miss Swift won't like it if I play even a second of her song. So we're just gonna have to do this.
Hey, okay. Hey.
Never mind, I don't want to do this. I'm just
Aw,
going to
man, I wish
assume
I had that,
you've already
bruh.
seen the edit that I'm talking about because it was viewed by
Everybody.
everyone.
I lucky remember that,
Everyone
though.
saw this edit. Taylor Swift saw this edit. And she liked it.
It's good.
I know
Okay.
I don't usually tell stories
That's a
about my
goat.
personal life, but if you'll allow me this
tell by the
one
goatee.
time, I remember one night in 2013 being
Okay.
at a high school dance, and the Taylor Swift Goat song came on, and right when the beat dropped, all the teachers supervising hadn't a clue why the entire school screamed. It was
You telling me y'all played the GOAT version of the song at the dance? That's what school did you go to?
because we were all mimicking that hilarious screaming.
Oh, you said y'all did it. Okay.
Now, the issue with all of this is that Goosick titled their video,
Screaming sheep or goat?
I knew you were a goat when you walked in. So history's changed forever. February 2013 was the start of the screaming goat meme. During
was
this
it-
time,
the
there
goats
were
actually
plenty
started
of
screaming
real
too?
videos of real goats making real screams that were also shared and beloved by people. But there's no denying that Ophelia's scream was the goat of goat screams.
Okay.
And she's not even a goat. YouTubers react to goat remixes, commercials featuring screaming goats. Hey, what animal did they get in YouTube Rewind 2013
Wow.
to
This is-
scream?
this is really a
that's
real
right,
thing.
It was the
Files.
As much as
the fox
AJQ
say, right?
tried to remind people of Ophelia's species in the description, the damage was already done, and the meme had gone completely out of their control. You might think
Goats
that,
sold a sheep
like
sign.
any other meme, people would have their fun with it, but eventually they'd move on. But that didn't
What was that
happen
Pop-Tart
with
cat?
this particular meme. No, Ophelia's goat scream
Lived on
was
forever.
about to find a new home in Hollywood. In November
But was it a
2014,
goat screaming
something
or a sheep?
happened that caused people's interest in screaming goats to massively
okay.
spike up.
Talk to you. Talk
And I
to
have
me.
no clue what caused that. I don't know. It's one of those unsolvable mysteries, I suppose. Look,
Like
in all of my
Bigfoot?
research, I couldn't find anything significant that would have caused this massive spike. So think back. Did you ever use Google to search for screaming goats in November 2014?
I did not.
And if so,
I did.
why? But while we're looking at the Google Trends
really
graph,
did not. I don't
only
know.
3 months later, we see another bigger peak in interest at February 2015.
Okay.
I think I know what caused that. If I had to pick
Man,
the most
this is crazy how deep
important
this
date
gets.
in Screaming Goat history, February 1st, 2015, would be like in the top 5. Solid A tier for sure.
Okay, what
On
happened?
that specific Sunday, 3 different companies all released commercials
With goats?
referencing screaming goats. How did I know it was Sunday?
Man, what was going on with this goat epidemic, bro? Why was everybody obsessed with goats? Like, I remember the screaming goat, but I don't remember the goats being this much of a thing.
Because
What
it
the
was
heck?
Super Bowl Sunday, baby! You know, the season finale of football that gets around 114 million viewers. It's such an important football game that companies will pay top dollar for a
Pay
couple
millions.
seconds of ad space. And the 2015 Super Bowl Xlix
Which one was that?
aired 2 Screaming Goat commercials.
Oh, the Patriots
One of
one?
them just using the original
and
clip
Seahawks?
of Ophelia, which I'm still counting as a Screaming Goat commercial because the iSpot.tv page for this ad credits Ophelia as a goat. And that third
Donkeys and
non-Super Bowl
goats.
commercial was just part of a Geico campaign, and they played a different ad from that campaign at the Super Bowl, but could you imagine if they played the goat one instead? That would have been so cool. Now, a new and bigger
yo.
audience of people who watch sports,
Are
all
seeing these
believe that
goats.
goats are the ones who scream like that. The
it's
reason
really
this
the sheep.
Super Bowl is so important to the Screaming Goat historian community is because this was the game that every animation studio executive watched and simultaneously agreed that screaming goats were the funniest, freshest thing ever. Think about it. You're an animation studio
Okay.
executive. You see
Despicable
2
Me.
Screaming Goat commercials during the same football game. A couple days later, you see a 3rd Screaming Goat commercial. Hey, isn't it almost Chinese New Year? What animal is it this time?
The
That
goat.
would be the year of the goat. Within the next 3-ish years, screaming goats were referenced in animated movies at a rate I've never seen memes get referenced in animated movies before. You couldn't escape screaming goats if you tried. Thor 4 beat you over the head with them, and they
Oh, they
might
weren't
be
though.
in
I do
Marvel
remember that,
Rivals,
actually.
but I couldn't get these goats to scream when I
That's
played.
crazy. I actually do remember that now.
Scream.
It wasn't the best movie now, but it was
My
definitely in
theory
there.
is that people complained about it, so they took it out. But now I'm going to complain about it for them to put it back in. And it really gets my goat that goats are remembered as the common barn
scream,
animal
but
who
it's
make
really
that
the sheep.
iconic scream. And it's unfair that calling someone
took
a
the sheep
goat
credit.
is a compliment, but calling someone a sheep is an insult. Goats have already
follow
taken
it.
enough from sheep. I need to calm down. So, what do you say, Ophelia? Think you can belt one more out for us?
She's
For old
retired,
time's
bro.
sake?
She's upset. They took
Come
her
on,
credit,
girl.
bro. I wouldn't want
Do
to
the
do it anymore.
scream.
Yeah.
What was that?
You sound like Shaq.
Stop that. Ophelia, why aren't you screaming? You were the one who screamed in the original video, right?
Wait.
Chapter
That's
6,
Shaq. That's
working
Shaq. I think
title,
that's Shaq.
Deception. I'm not proud to admit this, but sometimes I'll watch a video at 2 times speed.
Okay, I do
You
that
know,
too. I
like
do
an
that too.
iPad kid. But then YouTube will remember I did that and think I want to watch every video that fast. So it wasn't that jarring when I pulled up the original video and noticed Ophelia was
Hey, your
obviously
finger's so
sped up.
defined.
It's only became jarring when I realized the video was playing at the normal speed. I caught this on like my 40th rewatch, but this is clearly sped up, right? I didn't do anything to this. This is how the clip has always been. So that means at some
It wasn't
point,
even a real
this
scream?
video was put into a video editing
wasn't even a
software
real scream?
and underwent video manipulation. But that doesn't automatically mean Ophelia
wasn't
didn't
even real?
hilariously scream. AJ just wanted us to hear the scream
Oh my
sooner. That's
gosh.
why they sped up the footage. And okay, I will
Oh,
admit
this
that
has
it
got a lot
is
deeper.
a little weird that at the start of the video we can hear the background noises like the wind and other farm animals. But when Ophelia starts screaming, everything kind of just cuts out. But that's probably just because Ophelia screamed so
wasn't even
loudly
real.
that it drowned out all the background noise. I
No
don't
way.
know what a spectrogram is.
The boy who cried
and,
sheep.
all right, I do find it intriguing that Ophelia's scream sounds identical to the scream this cartoon fox made in the short film Pop by Bernard Derryman that came out 2 years before AJ's video. But maybe...
So we did all this work just to find out the sheep didn't even scream like that, bro? Oh my god, the sheep and the ghosts are frauds.
Bernard
Everybody's a
just
fraud.
used a recording of his own
Everybody's
Oxford
fraud.
sheep. You know how similar a sheep's screams are these days. I, for one, would never accuse AJQ of faking this important piece of history that has brought joy to millions of... What's that? They already found the source of the original scream? Stock sound effect from Apple released in 2008?
Wow.
Yeah, can I call you back?
So how does sheep really sound?
So that means it was never a screaming goat.
Or a sheep?
It's always been a silent sheep. A classic example of a lie within a lie.
This is live went on with generations, bro.
I, of course, was not the first person to crack this case. People were suspicious of Ophelia's authenticity within the first 5 YouTube comments. No, the diligent internet
probably- they
detective
didn't even
who
know.
cracked this case and found the original scream was none other than...
Well, I'm sorry to burst the bubble, children, but those are sound effects.
So now he's
How did
involved in
you
all
know?
of this. He's gonna need his own page on the wiki. If this is how you found out that one screaming goat video from
Hey, yo.
2012 is fake, I'm sorry. I know getting
Oh my
lied to is
gosh.
upsetting, but try imagining what it would feel like if
Okay.
everyone thought you were a goat when really you were a
Yeah,
sheep.
sheep.
You know what else is fake? Most of the things on the internet. But you know what's not fake?
What's
The
not fake?
smiles Ophelia gave you. If AJQ told us from the very beginning that the video was edited,
It wouldn't hit the same.
Why can't I say that? Would we have even listened to them?
Yeah, I'm saying it
we
wouldn't
didn't
hit the
listen
same.
the whole time they told us Ophelia was a sheep. I don't think I could sum up my thoughts any better than the YouTube user Just Bored puts it. No shit's fake. This is just supposed to be funny. So the next time you inevitably see a screaming goat referenced in an animated movie,
this is not real.
I hope you cringe, not because the joke isn't funny, but
not
because
real.
you know it was never a goat that made that sound, but rather a sheep.
It wasn't even a sheep.
That also never made that sound.
Chapter
I'm about
7.
to say.
Other things I wanted to mention but couldn't find a good spot for them,
IRL.
so I'm just going to list them
Is that a
off
sheep?
while opening Screaming Goat merch. In YouTube Rewind 2013, they got goats to reference Ophelia's sheep scream, but they also had a goat make this sound, which is referencing a different viral video called Yeah Lamb.
Yeah. Was that
in YouTube Rewind 2013?
Is any of this real?
They had goats steal the spotlight from not only sheep but also lambs. You're how old?
Bruh.
Oh my God, it moves. The very first screaming goat reference in media I could
trying to eat a paper.
was on May 9th, 2015
Run!
from episode 25 of Sonic Boom.
Oh my.
In case you needed an emergency goat. Ooh, what's in my hand? And then
You trying to eat everything.
This one.
Oh my, he just want to eat.
Made this sound?
He just want to eat.
We have
He eating this shit.
the screaming goat button.
Oh my gosh.
That needs batteries. Wait, no, I just need to pull this.
He don't care nothing about the sound. He just want
It's
to.
anticlimactic. Oh wait,
He trying to find something to eat.
Okay, now Star, can you do the honors? The Screaming
Okay.
Sheep 1 NFT was sold at 2.9 Ethereum, which I believe
Why he staring at me like that?
HAQ to sell the
Bro, his eyes are
Screaming Sheep
scary.
2 NFT at 10 times the price, starting the bid at 29 Ethereum. And if
Oh
you
my.
think it's crazy, someone would pay
45,000?
10 times the amount for a viral.
he's eating
I
the
can't
paper.
read the card. If you think it's crazy that someone would spend
Oh my.
10 times as much on a sequel to a viral video, then you're absolutely right, because no one bought the NFT. Except for right now, you're looking at the proud owner of the Screaming Sheep 2 and I'm just kidding.
I'm about to say, no
I
way.
said screening. I'm here with Scout, the mother of Star from
Okay.
Party Goats LA.
He trying to eat the phone now.
A goat make that sound before?
I have heard something similar, like if they're in distress,
Okay.
especially if they get left alone. Here's a fun fact for you. The way you can tell the difference between a goat and a sheep is actually by looking at their upper lip. Goat's upper lip is not split. The sheep's upper lip is split, and that helps them eat grasses. And it's actually called the philtrum.
What?
But goats don't have it. So if you ever have a question, just look at their upper lip, and if it's split and it looks like it's just kind of a cleft right there, right under their nose, that's how you can tell the difference.
Wow.
Star, what do you think?
We are Party Goats LA. We
He's about to eat
do
the
all
phone.
kinds of things, everything goat and sheep related here in Los Angeles. We do brush clearance, parties, events. Send a surprise goat with our goatgram.
A goat party? That sounds interesting, and I'm not too opposed to it.
Goat yoga, hiking with goats, pretty much anything people want to do.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Big thanks to everyone.
I
who
might
worked
gotta
on
go
this
have a
video,
goat party
made it
one day.
possible. They're
My
amazing.
50th birthday, goat party.
You're amazing. And now you're off into the
Eating a
world,
shirt.
knowing that it was never a goat that made that sound. So, you know, take with that with what you will.
Oh man.
See you around. Wear your seatbelt.
That's a good advice.
Love yourself.
All right.
Have a good night.
Shout out to TheOdd1sOut, man. That video was quite the experience. That's the best way I could put it. Is that video was quite the experience. Not only did he debunk the goat theory, he debunked the sheep theory too. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't either of them. It was fake. It was fake this whole time. Everything's fake. Everything you know in life is fake. If you're a young kid watching this, you're fake. But with that being said, man, go sub to TheOdd1sOut page. Hit the sub button on my page. And hit that notification bell too so you know when I post. It's your boy ACK. Let me know what you want to see on the channel. And we out here.